I've been interested in engineering for a really long time. Since I was little, I've always wondered what processes do what, why they do what they do, and ask those questions of the 5 W's. And I think it's really important to ask those questions. My interest peaked particularly during the pandemic because it was a time where biochemical engineers were the most needed, and I wanted to be at the center of vaccine manufacturing. My name's Jahafar, and I'm a downstream bioprocess trainer, and I work with Resilience. Resilience is a national project where we are training the next generation and giving them the tools that they need to develop their skills going into medicines and manufacturing. I help develop the downstream part of a biochemical process. There's an upstream and a downstream. The upstream stems from cell culture and what you do at a very small scale. And my side normally is purifying everything else. So my side is essentially the purification of the process. And I help deliver MBI modules at UCL to train people from industry and academia on the downstream process of biochemical engineering. We go through chromatography systems, and I develop and scale up practicals that teach users how to use the ActorGo. An ActorGo is essentially a really big pump. It pumps solution and sample through a column. The sample binds onto the column, and then after you would wash the sample out, you get rid of all your dirt and all your debris and all your aggregates, and all you're left with is a really, really pure sample. And that's what people use for the purification of monoclonal antibodies. The highlight of Resilience is using VR. The best thing about VR is putting someone in a lab without actually going into a lab. And the process is so easy for users to train themselves on the practical skills that they would need before actually going into a lab. They'll put on a headset and then they'll be transported into a scientific environment. 30-year-olds would act like 5-year-olds and 5-year-olds would act like 2-year-olds. Like, everyone is shocked when they put on a headset. It gives them an insight to what they can do later on in life. I manage a social media page for Resilience, and we perform TikTok trends and TikTok videos on there when we're doing our outreach, when we're doing festival work, and when we're doing things with VR to make sure that we capture and engage with the younger generation. It's really important to reach out to the younger generation through social media because it will help them develop the skills that they need to take into the labs to make the next line of medicines and to help deal with the next pandemic. I think to young people, what I would say is always keep asking your questions and always keep staying curious, because curiosity opens your brain and you want to ask the questions that no one really asks. Don't stop yourself from asking the boring questions, because the boring questions open the crazy doors. So always stay inquisitive, and STEM is all about hurdles and jumping over every obstacle that comes your way. What matters most is your willingness to learn and adapt.